But anyway, I'll get things started. So hello, everyone again who was there yesterday, and to everybody who's newly joining today. Bienvenue, bonjour, and Shemai for the Welsh folks that are on there. I don't think there's any except me, but it's worth saying. I'd like to start today again by acknowledging the land and the water, and just reminding people that this isn't simply a statement to say at the beginning of an event. It's a acknowledgement of a relationship and a continuing relationship of understanding and listening. And just to remind everyone that we're all treaty partners and we all have a role to play. First talk today is a keynote. I don't have a bio for Christina, and I apologize, but I know you can give us a 30-second soundbite, and then I'll let you explain this exciting prospect of FishCAST and what's going on. So
yeah,
welcome.
You bet. Oh, thanks so much. I'll briefly introduce myself when I'm introducing the FishCAST principal investigator, so I don't want to hog the spotlight here. So I'm just actually going to just get my slides up. So thanks for allowing me to share my screen. That's awesome already. This is already going better than other conferences I've been at. So well done, everyone. And please, yes, feel free to use the chat. I'm going to get my chat window open and just to make sure that I can see things coming. But I am joined on this talk by the Associate Director of FishCAST, Dr. Catherine Febria. So again, she'll be happy to answer questions afterwards. And luckily enough, Dr. Stephen Cook, who's also a member of FishCAST, is here, and he's going to be giving a talk right after the break. So I think that's amazing already. We've got great representation here. So my chat window is open. And again, I'll be monitoring it if I can. I can answer questions. So I like how this is such a fluid conference right now. There's a lot of chatter and talk going on. So if you need to, please feel free and interrupt. I just want this to be casual as possible. It's not going to be a very long talk because I really do want to leave some space for questions. But I'm so excited and I'm so grateful to be invited, and FishCAST to be invited, not me, by Craig Peterson, who is one of our members, a partner of FishCAST as well. And he invited us to give a talk because just to spread the word of what FishCAST is, what we do, and what we stand for. So I just wanted to give a thank you. And to everyone here, it's my pleasure to be able to introduce what FishCAST is. In a nutshell, it's an NSERC CREATE-funded career training program, and it's for students, graduate students, and postdoctoral fellows, specifically in fisheries management and conservation. But before we begin, if that's okay to get started, I first wanted to say that FishCAST as a whole, holistically, we do acknowledge that our universities, our collaborator organizations, as well as our research that we do, it benefits from, and it's all situated on the traditional and unceded territories and lands of Indigenous nations. We acknowledge the rights of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people of Turtle Island. FishCAST is primarily administered by the University of Windsor, and that's where I'm giving you my talk from today. And Windsor sits on the traditional territory of the Three Fires Confederacy of First Nations, which include the Odawa, the Ojibwa, and the Potawatomi. FishCAST actually strives to move and go beyond land acknowledgement and where possible into really meaningful partnership and relationship building that acknowledges the history, acknowledges the connection to, and acknowledges the knowledge of the land on which we're all situated. And our goal of FishCAST is collectively to decolonize science, to address the systemic barriers that we're experiencing in our fields, and to work collaboratively to overcome them, because after all, we're all treaty people. So welcome everyone, bonjour, ani, and let's get started. So what is FishCAST? Well, FishCAST is actually an acronym, and it stands for Fisheries Management and Conservation Careers in Science and Technology. And that's where it really impinges on, and that's the career aspect. It's meant to be a co-curricular program to train graduate students, which means it doesn't replace the student's graduate program. It actually complements them. So when a student is looking to do a master's, a PhD, postdoc, even undergraduate work, they still have to abide by the degree requirements their university puts together. We're added value. We help with the research. We help give extra courses and, again, learning experiences. I'll explain why we actually do that and what's the purpose of a CREATE. And so CREATE is just a training program that's funded by NSERC. It's a 6-year grant, and it runs from 2020 to 2026. So we were recently awarded it in September of last year. And it does center specifically on Canada's freshwater systems. So amongst all the CREATES that are presently across Canada, we're the only one that's solely focused on freshwater and freshwater fisheries. So why did the federal government decide to give us a grant in freshwater fisheries management and conservation? Well, that's because it's done in response to the economic importance of the freshwater fishery sector, the increase in demand for healthy food. And of course, it's in response to the ongoing loss of aquatic biodiversity, of which Dr. Stephen Cook is going to give us an amazing talk after the break, all about the decline and what we can do to bend that curve. And so in response to the economic acknowledgement, healthy food, ongoing biodiversity loss in freshwater systems in Canada, Canada is finally initiating really innovative programs to support freshwater resources and fisheries. And from the talk I've been hearing before we started, a lot of you are already involved in this, and it's amazing to see and to hear all about it. But to give you some specific examples, the Canada Nature Fund funded a grant to address aquatic freshwater species at risk. We had the reopening of the ELA as Canada's recommitment to restoring freshwater research. Back in 2018, Genome Canada put out a large-scale applied research call for fisheries and aquaculture to ensure the health of our fish stocks. And part of us on this grant, on this FishCAST grant, we're also awarded a Genome Canada fisheries grant called GenFish. If you're interested or if you've heard about it, let me know, we could talk about it afterwards. Habitat Stewardship Program, the fund that they created was in response to being able to safeguard and protect our freshwater fish habitat. And lastly, Canada's, the Senate's Standing Committee on Fisheries actually recommends doubling aquaculture production in the next decade. So taking this all together and collectively, what does this mean? Well, this means that all of these initiatives are going to need trained professionals and scientists. And although I'm hearing the talk about it's really hard and consultancy and how to get jobs, and I really do want to hear about this, and this is a chance for those involved to even get further involved into helping shape the future. Well, Eco Canada put out a report in 2017 saying that the employment market has never been better. And this is across Canada. Now, I know the landscape might be different on Ontario. So I'm really, really keen to hear that kind of feedback from you. But Eco Canada, which stands for Environmental Careers Organization Canada, they predicted a positive trend for the employment market in freshwater fisheries and conservation until at least 2024, where they say that this type of market should be stable, vibrant, and produce a diverse future for core fisheries workers. Now, while trainees really are graduating from universities with amazing basic scientific skills and technical expertise, these so-called hard skills, employers often said in these reports that they wanted more. They wanted trainees to have hands-on experiences that could distinguish them as leaders of the pack. They wanted them to have a broad understanding of the policy and regulatory issues that are associated with fisheries, freshwater fisheries and conservation. They wanted trainees to have a knowledge and an awareness of novel technologies for monitoring and health assessment, but to even go beyond that and to know more about what are the adoptions, barrier adoptions, or what would facilitate the adoption of these novel technologies for freshwater monitoring assessment. And lastly, it was really important amongst employers to have trainees that understood and appreciated and engaged in capacity building for co-producing initiatives with Indigenous communities, because it's not only a moral obligation, but it's also a legal right. So FishCAST listened. FishCAST was developed in direct response to the needs of the potential employers in freshwater fish conservation and the sectors, fishery sectors. And as a result, because FishCAST listened, it's a really true integrative relationship and partnership with both academic and non-academic partners. So let's start off. Who are the academic partners? Well, you've already met me, Dr. Christina Semnick, Tina, I go by the name of Tina. I'm an associate professor at the University of Windsor, and my research focuses on studying the adaptive capacity of wildlife as they try to face with the stressors caused by human-induced rapid ecological change. My partner in crime is Associate Director of FishCAST, Dr. Catherine Febria, who's also on this call. She's an assistant professor at the University of Windsor, and her research is focused on ecosystem-based and Indigenous-led approaches to healthy headwaters. It's not just the two of us, of course, we're a productive community, and we also have 9 additional members of FishCAST from the academic community, and that's Dr. Céline Odette. She's from the Université du Québec at Rimouski. We've got Dr. Steve Cook, I'm sure some of you know, but he's from Carleton University, and he can introduce himself later on. Bryan Dixon hails from the University of Waterloo. Dr. Margaret Dockers from the University of Manitoba. We've got Dr. Daniel Heath from the University of Windsor. Dr. Nick Mandrak, some of his students are presenting at this conference yesterday and today, and he's from U of T. Dr. Bryan Neff is from Western, and we've got Dr. Trevor Pitcher and Dr. Barbara Zielinski, also from the University of Windsor. I don't want to take up too much time going into their bios, but they're the leading experts as well in fisheries and aquatic science. Consult our website, FishCAST.ca, if you want to learn more about what they study specifically and how it aligns with the research themes in FishCAST as well, and I'll get to that. But of course, we are so privileged to also have on our team, and what makes, in my opinion, FishCAST so holistic, and I think so. Of course, holding there is our program coordinator, Ken. Please read out information is on the end of this. So those are our academic partners. And Steve could get later on call. Good to also questions that come along. I mean, some of those that we have, but we partners that were really, really keen in joining FishCAST. And to that end, we've got government partners, both federal government partners, the DFO, and we've got provincial governments on board with FishCAST. We've got industry partners that are in aquaculture, industry partners that are in environmental consultancies. We also have over 15 NGOs involved. We're always having new conversations with new partners that really want to get involved. And why do they want to get involved? Because this is one of the opportunities in which they can shape their future employees. They can shape the careers. They can shape what the trainees are experiencing, so that when the trainees graduate from their degree program and through FishCAST, they're going to be job ready, and they're going to be equipped with the skills that our partners need. And so going along that, we do know that a career in fisheries assessment, conservation, and management is extremely varied. Students coming through the program, students going through their degrees might actually want to go and take a career in academia. They might want to pursue a career in government, in industry, in nonprofit organizations, and they might also just want to continue their career in helping their community. And again, or none of these categories are necessarily mutually exclusive, and right, we can go across and we can work all together. But we realize that it's such a varied career that we want to be able to have students have their, let's say, their added value of this degree program shaped towards their needs and their goals. And so as an example, we've got a curriculum that's designed around our trainees, if in fact they want to go into, let's say, one of these career trajectories. So for example, they might want to do applied research as a future career, learn more about policy and applied research, or do pure research. And so when you think about a FishCAST, or you think about a CREATE program, the first word that I want you to be able to associate it with is internship, because that's really what it is. Yes, we are supplying the salaries for graduate students, but more than that, what we're actually doing is we're ensuring that students can partner already through their research with an internship partner. So for example, if you're coming in as a master's student in FishCAST, you're going to do an 8-week internship placement. If you're a PhD student, you're going to have 2 placements. But this is where you're actually going to be doing your research. You're going to be researching in the field, researching in data, researching in labs, and your partners can be NGOs, government, communities. And again, this is where this first networking is going to begin, because it's not just one way. It's not just the partner's going to give you just a bunch of their data sets, access to their field, but the partners in FishCAST realize that no, this is the opportunity to help guide more than just offering research data and research opportunities. It really is about offering methods of communication and dialogue, exchange, and networking, and to show them exactly how things are run, what are the expectations are. So you're getting more than just simply an opportunity to do your research. FishCAST will say, you know what, do your research that you need to do for your degree with one of our partners, but you're also going to be learning a lot more. Part of our curriculum is also introducing you to different professional workshops or technical seminars. Again, it's not like as soon as you enter, you are siloed and you're pigeonholed and applied versus policy versus pure. But we want to just to let you know that you can choose amongst what interests you most and what's more relevant for your degree. So for example, if you really do want to pursue environmental consultancy, that's great. You'll have opportunities to learn more. You could learn about fisheries policy and transboundary issues, fisheries assessment and technologies. If you're simply interested in academia and going the academic route, you could take, let's say, workshops in statistics and fisheries, trends and new technologies, modeling with uncertainty, learning how to handle all these genomic data, so bioinformatics in R. FishCAST is also holding field courses, well, post-COVID. That's the plan, is to have our field courses up and running, but also for students to engage and network with not just each other, but with those in the field and to find mentors through an annual FishCAST symposium. Right now, we might be doing it through CCFFR, so the Canadian Conference for Fisheries Research. AFS is another brilliant avenue in which FishCAST cohorts can present their own symposia. And what is really important, and I think it's a thread that runs throughout FishCAST. It's a common theme in everything we do, and that's JEDI. So JEDI actually stands for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And it's really important that students come in with and to learn. So they'll come in with an understanding of JEDI, but they'll also leave with the journey that they've been on. And they'll become allies, they'll become true partners, they'll become true co-producers and co-engagers. And we want students to take ownership of this and to lead their own JEDI events, a minimum of 1 per year. But we're really leaving it to the hands of those. And what I can actually truthfully say, I've been on CCFFR with these JEDI meetings and workshops, and I find that the generation right now is incredibly hopeful, is incredibly engaged, and there's this thirst to learn about JEDI events and what they can do, because there's this acknowledgement and recognition that I'm so happy about, that with diversity and actual inclusion comes innovation, comes progress, comes impact. And this is something we really want, that kind of spirit to really populate and become a thematic in FishCAST. And our cohort is already representing that. But I don't want any postdocs on this call presentation to think that I'm leaving them out deliberately. This is a great opportunity for postdocs to lead potential workshops and seminars and to lead knowledge products that can emerge from these in terms of journal articles, policy papers, technical reports, in conjunction with the graduate students to get more added value and leadership roles and skills that they can take with them, whatever career path that they choose. So when you join FishCAST, hopefully you'll be already immersed in research. You're going to have a research idea, a research theme in fisheries conservation, fisheries management, fisheries assessment. And that's great. And FishCAST has 4 main themes, of which our partners are experts in at least 2 of them. And so there's a lot of cross-pollination between them. So let's say you're interested in ecosystem and habitat assessment and how it relates to fisheries and fish persistence. That's amazing. By partnering with one of our internship partners and one of our PIs, you could learn about the effects of land use on the physiochemical characteristics and the dynamics and the linkages between flow regimes and lakes with anthropogenic impacts and stressors and ultimate effects on fish populations. And you'll learn at a more ecosystem-based level and approach to the restoration of fish habitats and what that actually means. You might actually be interested in theme 2, fisheries ecology and fisheries exploitation. So in here, you'll be learning with your partners and your supervisors the ecological theories that are really foundational to modern freshwater fisheries assessment and conservation. You'll be exploring the risks and benefits of eating freshwater fisheries and fishes and the health that's associated and affiliated with it. And then what kind of training can you be expected to receive? Well, conducting laboratory, computer-based, analytical, practical skills that are associated with fisheries ecology research and management. And maybe this isn't your cup of tea. You want to learn and you want to do more research in fish health and fitness. Well, this is great. This is what FishCAST does too. Here you can examine factors that impact fish health, the risks and the benefits that are important to Indigenous communities. You can explore relationships between the individual and how it emerges to the population level fish health of exploited stocks themselves. And you can receive training here in transcriptomics, genomic approaches, ecophysiology, immunology, behavioral profiling. Our last theme, and again, none of these are mutually exclusive as well, but it's this fish culture, which is a really important dominant theme now and more in freshwater. And again, these are the stressors you can examine. They're being faced by fish that are reared in culture facilities. They're reared in culture facilities either for consumption, but more likely for restoration purposes, recreational stocking, for angling, for food. And so we could explore here the health and the adaptability, the adaptive capacity of hatchery fish to be able to handle these stressors as they're being released. And through this theme, you could learn mitigating efforts of fish culture, stocking, and the outcome of monitoring. And so we've got partners that are associated with these 4 themes, and we've got researchers that are associated with these 4 themes as well. And like I said, again, not mutually exclusive. You could employ genomics and health indices to fish culture and vice versa. So if you're interested in joining FishCAST, amazing. If you know someone who may be interested in joining FishCAST, really good. If there are any undergraduate students on the call or that you know of, we've got undergraduate scholarships available for students to work in the field, and that could actually migrate potentially into a master's project. Graduate students, doctoral potential candidates, again, if you're interested in FishCAST, we're also, we don't just provide salary and internship opportunities for those strictly in the sciences, but those in environmental studies, those in, let's say, arts and humanities. We do have a small subset reserved for that. Again, we really want to embrace the innovation of ideas and what can be brought to the table. We've got postdoctoral fellow opportunities. Again, much fewer, but we do have some slots available for postdocs for their salary funding. Now, this in no way precludes any from actually joining in on our workshops and our seminars or anything like that. It's just the salary would be dedicated to those going through and doing the entire program. If there are any potential partners on this call, again, this is your opportunity to help shape and guide what you want your employees to have when they work for you. When you're passing on the baton, who do you want to fill your role? This is your opportunity to have that potential impact within Canada and within the freshwater sector. And if there are any academics on this call that are not part of FishCAST and you think your students would be interested, again, reach out to us. We do it through co-supervision. So again, we don't want to exclude anyone from taking, having the benefits of what we can offer. Because again, even though this will technically end in 2026, we're looking to have this as a long-term partnership and an ongoing kind of networking and framework. So with that, we are taking on students. Here right now is our present cohort of FishCAST students, part of our community. They're excited to start. They're an amazing bunch of students already, really keen to get involved. Again, student representatives on all the committees within FishCAST. If you've got questions about that, just let us know. And I just wanted to thank you again for the invitation. Merci tellement beaucoup. Chimagwech, everyone, and to all of our partners and universities. And I'm just going to leave it up here while I read a little bit of the chat, some of the opportunities that are currently available in the following labs. So take a screenshot, because this is going to go. I'd rather see everybody's faces than to just look at my screen. But with that, yes, I'm happy to take any of the questions that you have. So thanks again. Thanks for being a wonderful audience. And I look forward to hearing from you.